CFAX board appointment. Got two people who are interested, according to Miss Mary Hunter. She would certainly endorse either one. There's Robert Charles Daniels and Lena Johnson. Any questions about that? Fourth item is short-term work program resolution. Should have a copy of that resolution. This is basically what they had to accomplish on behalf of the comprehensive plan. And it's been reviewed by the regional commission and sent to BCA. And we just have to pass the resolution to make it official. Any questions? Fifth item on the agenda is appointment to Northeast Georgia Aging Services Advisory Council. She was already on there. This is cool. Oh, she's a new. Okay, this was a recommendation on behalf of the advisory council for Ms. Margaret Sims to serve on that council. Of course, you're welcome to suggest anybody else. It's working a little difficult. Try to get people to serve. If you happen to have anybody else that's interested in serving, put their names out there too. Accept any nominations prior to the official vote. Sixth item on the agenda is the Planning Commission bylaws revision. Josh?
Oglethorpe County zoning board bylaws were adopted by the Planning Commission last Thursday. This is one of the outcomes of the Planning Commission Review Committee put in place back in May initially. Well, I'd just like to point out a few things. You had an opportunity to go over the bylaws in detail, but one of the outcomes was reducing the membership of the Planning Commission from 9 members. Of those 9, 5 appointed by the board of commissioners and 4 appointed by each of the municipalities. Under the zoning board bylaws, it's simply 5 members appointed by the board of commissioners. There are several restrictions. No member of the zoning board may be an employee or hold elective office for the county. Appointees shall be residents of Oglethorpe County for the duration of their appointment. That's a change that the Planning Commission made last Thursday. Originally it read, appointees shall be residents of Oglethorpe County at the time of their appointment. Nothing surprising in the officers section. In the meetings section, changing the schedule from having planning commission meetings on the fourth Thursday of the month, and having zoning board meetings on the last Monday of each month. That change in schedule, together with a text amendment that you'll see in September, recommending a change in the amount of time between the planning commission meeting and the board of commissioners public hearing from 30 days to 7 days. Those two changes together will reduce the amount of time that it takes to achieve a zoning action by a total of 41 days in a calendar year, although it only changes the number from 30 to 7. When you actually look at the calendar, looking at 2012, at the year 2012, every zoning action could potentially be completed in 41 days, less time than it takes currently. I don't know if I explained that.
I thought we discussed The meeting will be held on the last Monday of the month. That way you have 7 days, fourth Thursday, won't give you 7 days.
No, the planning commission meeting has been held on the fourth Thursday, and then these bylaws indicate that it will be held on the last Monday like we discussed in the review committee. So from here forward, if the board of commissioners approves this set of bylaws, then the zoning board meetings will be held on the last Monday.
That's not in the proposal before us.
Yeah, it's on
So.
the
Every
page.
meeting in the zoning board shall be held on the fourth Thursday of each month, beginning at 7 p.m. on Article 4 on month sheet.
You may be looking at something
Well,
different.
bylaws you got, I've got the 5 of them, sure. Then right here, I mark that Thursday of each month, beginning at 7 p.m. I may have the wrong sheet. I don't
Yeah.
know.
What you have is not what was approved last Thursday. I'll have to get you a correct copy.
Okay, I mean, I'm going, this is what I received in mail, this is what I read.
Right,
I highlighted that, so.
I'll have to get you a correct copy. But the approved version says that the meeting will be held on the last Monday of every month.
That's what it is.
Right.
That's good, yeah. That's written on Mark, correct?
Yeah.
Did you have your spreadsheet,
Not
Josh?
failure.
It showed the time savings.
Yes.
It might help them understand, it might confuse it, but I can get the thing, come on, good.
You want to pull it up?
I couldn't get it to connect.
No, that's the power. I can get it over there.
That's Bible right there.
It was connected. You just gotta drag it over.
It's fine.
You just gotta drag it over like this right here.
You got the same thing.
Yeah, I think it just means email time is money.
Oh, that shows it.
Uh,
That's an earlier version, but
I have mailed everything, what you give me before the meeting approved it, that's why.
I mean, I knew that's what we decided, but I read it on Mark, so I said, no.
just drag it over the second screen. Yeah, I hope this doesn't confuse things. I had one that was
Just
easier,
focus on the bottom line numbers.
was easier to read. This box over here is the existing procedure, the window of application. When the planning commission meeting is, when the board of commission meeting is, public hearing is. No, vote, actually. And the minimum and maximum here is based on the window of application submission. And it's anywhere between 61 days and 95 days that it takes to complete a zoning action under the existing procedure. And under the new procedure, scroll over a little bit, it'll take anywhere between 21 and I think 55 days over here. At most, it'll take 55 days. Now, both the planning commission and board of commissioners still has the ability to slow that process down in the case that decisions need to be deferred or we need to get more public input, etc. But for most of them, for rezones, they could possibly, assuming that they go straight through, can be completed from the date that the application is complete to the date that the board of commissioners votes on it from 21 to 55 days. Scroll over just a little bit, I think it's 55. But anyway, that's just a look at how that would impact 2012. And I'm assuming that that same thing would apply in other years. I think they do.
Just keep this in mind too, that this was,
yeah, 55 days is the most it would take. That's assuming that you applied, you know, right on the inside of this application window.
And we were talking about at one point having a review board. There were some issues with having a review board, and this would basically accomplish the same goal of reducing the amount of time it would take for an applicant. And it wouldn't have the associated problems that a review board would have. The review board would have been the chairman of the board of commissioners, or vice chair in their absence, chairman of the planning commission, or vice chair in their absence, plan administrator. But those, you know, there'd be a problem getting those people together on a certain time frame, but also you'd have to have guidelines to totally identify the path that you'd have to take in order to make a decision. But this will accomplish the same goal, a much simpler process, just by changing the date. What else?
We took out the training requirements, and originally there were two other sections in the bylaws. One talked about training requirements, another one talked about skills and abilities, but upon legal advice, took those out, and those will be in something more like a job description for a planning commissioner or zoning board member at this point. Something that's not officially adopted, but is a kind of guideline to encourage training and maintaining a certain level of knowledge so that we can provide consistent and informed advice to the board of commissioners.
So you're gonna take out what's right here.
The mandatory requirements for training.
Training requirements.
The problem is, if you have mandatory requirements and someone doesn't meet those requirements, they remain on that board, make a recommendation, and it's challenged, then you potentially could lose that challenge based on the fact that you didn't have that person do what you said you were gonna have them do. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's the last part?
Yeah, I didn't have, I mean, you can read through the bylaws, and there's nothing unusual. The things we talked about are the things that are big changes, and I think they do have some implications, and we just need, I believe the Planning Commission Review Committee thought through all those implications very thoroughly, and that was one of the intended outcomes, is that set of bylaws right there.
I'll give you guys a copy of the updated from the meeting.
It will mean that we have to reappoint members of the zoning board, and since the continuation of the planning commission is now a 5-member zoning board, and each member is to be appointed by the board of commissioners. What we currently have is 1 member that has been appointed by the board of commissioners, and 3 that originally were appointed by a municipality. So at this point, the recommendation that the planning commission has made is to, in the interest of continuity, for the board of commissioners to appoint those same members, the existing members, for some time period, whatever the appropriate time period is.
Did you have those, yeah, just quickly brief, I think Danny was to continue on for a 3-year, his normal term. Go ahead.
Danny was originally appointed through 2015, and if Danny Sanders is reappointed to the zoning board for the 3-year initial term, then he would serve his original appointment. And so we have recommended that Danny serve the initial 3-year term to the zoning board. Ivan Winsett was originally appointed by the city of Maxey's, and we have recommended that he serve 2-year initial term for the zoning board. And these are different year terms so that we can stagger the 5 terms so that all won't come up, 3 years from now. And the other 2 existing members that will be continuing are Lee Norman and Kathy Little, each of which were originally appointed by a municipality, and each of which hold an elected office in a municipality. one of the provisions in the bylaws states that, if you hold a elected office in a municipality, you can't be a member of the zoning board, after January 1st of 2013. So that allows us a little bit of continuity, but, some time to appoint new members, without rushing it, and to do a thorough selection process and, get new appointees in place under the expectation that there would be vacancies on the zoning board.
So you have two that's becoming off in
Potentially sooner. We have one vacancy that exists right now. And Lee Norman expressed the intent to focus on Arnold'sville, and they did not want to continue for much longer on the zoning board. So I anticipate that vacancy, and the third vacancy will be at least in January.
And ultimately, it's just sort of to help you understand why it's not important for a municipality to have a representative. They'll make their own zoning decisions anyway. They won't be making those decisions, so that planning commission really shouldn't be overwhelmed with people who are from municipalities when their decisions won't even come before that. Any questions about that planning commission bylaws revision? So what we do is we adopt those revisions, and as a result of that, we have to appoint, be prepared to reappoint some of the existing members next week. All right, the seventh item on the agenda is the sign ordinance. That was one that come up a while back. Josh had a committee of different members of the planning commission. They worked diligently on that for a while, and the more they worked on it, the larger it got. And it just, with comprehensive plan and all these other things going on, it just got too big for them to get their arms around it. What I would suggest to you is that we revisit that as a board of commissioners, maybe appoint a committee, I think, and really focus on what the problem that we're having right now is. I think 95% of our problems, or at least the concerns about it, is problems that were associated with churches who wanted to have their signs larger or different from what the ordinance reads. And I think that's what we need to address, and forget about trying to address billboards and there's just tons. Josh can just go on and talk about different kinds of signs, where they're at and what they mean to people. I don't think we need to address all that. I think we need to address what our concern is right now. If those other problems come up in the future, we can address them then. But just basically look at churches and see what we can do. Maybe consistent with, some sign ordinances that are already in place. And make a decision there and fix our problems. Spend 5% of our effort fixing 95% of our problems and move on. We don't need to just sit idle on it. It's a concern. I think we need to be active and address it, or decide that we don't want to address it. That it's okay like it is. And that's all right too, but just to do nothing, which is sort of where we're at, is not, I don't think, the answer. We need to make an official decision one way or the other. So I'd be willing to serve. I'd also recommend that one of the persons, or the person that brought it for the Board of Commissioners, which was Larry McFalls, who also serves as the mayor of Arnold'sville, if he'd be willing, so he could sit in and serve, because I know that, people have asked him, and I'm sure he's telling them that, it's us. Well, I think he needs to be part of the solution as well, so I'd like to ask him, is there anybody here who would be willing to serve on a committee to help review this thing and maybe make a recommendation to the board? All right. Anybody else that you would like to suggest, Josh, or anybody here? You think there's any member of the planning commission who would like to work on that? At this point, they're probably going to be, I don't know. All right, so Phil, myself, Larry McFalls, and if you can think of anybody between now and next week that might be interested, I'd be certainly glad to have them. I hope we can be pretty efficient with it just review what the problem is, and try to come up with a better solution that's consistent with somebody else, and put it in place and be done with it, but that's what I wanna do. Any comments or questions? Not. That's what we do. And the final, item on our agenda is the coroner salary. I told you a while back, when we got to looking into it, that it was inconsistent with the way things are. What I've got is the currently calculated salary as it's calculated. Second one is the properly calculated salary based on, what we can find in the law. And the third item down there is, the subsidy that would need to be in place if you chose to maintain it, that we need to take official action on, so that it didn't change, if that's what you decided to do. But those are what those three columns represent. And the lack of action would result in the second column, and then, you can do whatever you want, you can subsidize it whatever you want, but to completely subsidize it so that there would be no loss in the current salary, we would take that highlighted number 247014 in the way of a, they don't call it a subsidy, what do they call it?
Supplement.
Supplement. Thank you, Robert. In the way of a supplement. But we do need to address it, it's gotta be addressed.
Is this over for discussion now?
Hmm?
Well, I agree we need to bring it back to where it's supposed to be, but this has been posted for the upcoming 4 years like it is. I think we need to correct it, but to take effect in the next election cycle. Because it's too late now, it's already qualified, Cardinals have, and there's no opposition. I'm not taking it up for anybody, but there's no opposition's already been set, and he knows what he'll be making if he runs, which that was part of the stipulation for running.
Qualifying fee was based on 3% of the salary, and that fee was based on $2,400.
Right.
So at the very least, when you correct it, at least the salary, the base would be, instead of 24, would be 36, and then the qualifying fee would be reflected at 36, 3% of 36,
Right.
which is more, it's 50% higher.
I mean, this is, I don't know how long, the last time around, it was still, the qualified fee was based on the 24.
It's always the percentage, 3% of the base is what it is, and the base was.
So it was wrong then, so it's wrong now.
If anybody was at a disadvantage, is those people who would have considered running for it, who would have thought it would have been 50% higher, if the qualifying fee had been 3% of 3,600.
Right, so, I mean, you see where I'm coming from?
I see what you're coming from.
I agree to correct it, but let it take effect in the next election cycle of the card. That's my opinion.
I'm not here advocating one way or the other. The only thing I'm gonna tell you is, we either gotta do one or the other. We either gotta pay what it says in the law, or we gotta adjust it so, to the tune of, up to, well, you could do whatever amount, but to get it exactly like it is now, you'd have to take $2,470.14
And that'd be adjusted for the next 4 years.
as a supplement.
Will that be the completion of that, or will it change back then, after the 4-year term?
I didn't ask Norman, but I think you can probably put a supplement in for a time certain. So once a given time is up, then
I mean, it's been done, it's already been done, so.
it's already being done improperly, but being done nonetheless.
Right, yeah.
And all I want to do is make it proper.
Well, I mean, we can do that and still the law, the resolution, whatever we do, would state that next election time for the card, it would go into effect, the salary as it should be, not a supplement included. You'd go back to $3,600, right? Is that what, 2400?
As a base, but then you add your COLAs and
Well, the COLAs won't come into you.
it'll still come in.
Reelected, huh? Oh, it comes in every year though.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter whether you're newly elected or whether you're, the only thing that would be a
But it
difference.
won't the
would be-
first year.
Huh?
The COLA that come in the first year, come in.
Well, the COLA will be applied to the salary, but the cost of the longevity would, for a newly elected. The COLA still apply, still take the base and start at 2002, I mean, I don't know, do you have that?
I don't know.
It's got, it's got all of the instructions and how you do it, whether you're newly elected or not, the only thing that'd be
Well,
different.
let's go
would be
ahead and
longevity.
the sheet, COLA for 2002 through one.
It would not, it wouldn't go from 2,400 to 2,640 because it wouldn't be a 10% longevity if it was a newly elected official.
Right.
So it'd be $240 off of that. Again, I'm not advocating one way or the other, I am advocating let's get it right, and the failure to act on it would result in taking it to whatever it is. I mean, we have to get it right, whatever right is, whatever we determine right to be, we gotta fix it.
Well, being we don't know where the problem stems, I mean, we don't have a clue as to where this month, where it was put in error.
We got some suspicions.
I know, but I mean, we don't want to point a finger there. I feel like, Bobby, I think I'll just go ahead and approve it as it is right now. Let it go through the next 4-year term and address it after that, because I mean, I don't want to modify that for James at this point.
It could be stated that, you know, if he resigned in the middle of the term, it could affect him. At the end of his term, President Carter's term, regardless.
Yeah.
Leave it as it is now, because, I mean, if I was running for it, and that's what the salary's gonna be, I feel so bad, well, you know, I guess you could always withdraw it if you knocked it back like that, but it's been there, and we are trying to address it, it's corrected, but it's corrected in a fair and equitable way by doing it. And we could do it, just dry cut and do it, but I think that it should be done when the next term runs out, because of, you know, the situation.
And I wouldn't argue with that either. I think if you look at it, if you're gonna get an increase, you gotta do it, I mean, if you do an increase in the base, we're not talking about doing an increase in the base, we're talking about doing an increase in the supplement, which does not require, you know, all the hoops that you have to jump through, but on that same, using that same logic, if you did that, applying the same logic, you'd wanna have it done before qualifying. You need to have it done before qualifying, so that everybody have an equal opportunity, and those who choose to run have an equal opportunity to decide whether they wanna run. I won't argue that, but I certainly would agree too that, you know, just do it for a time, certainly then everybody knows what it is. Or maybe you wanna leave it the same way at that point. But I will check and make sure that it's okay to do this for a time certain. If it's not, you can always change it now, and then if you feel compelled to in 4 years, change it again. But I think we'll do this in the form of a resolution, so it's officially on record, and we can go back and track it if anybody ever has any questions. In the resolution, that way we won't have to have a long, drawn-out motion that explains, you know, we'll try to come up with a clever way to have a resolution, so that it captures all that. And that's just based on the discussion tonight. Of course, George won't be here, he's out of town, Marilyn will be here, she can change that. I think it's worth trying to draft a resolution, and even if we have to amend it before we approve it, at least we'll take care of it and make it official. Any more questions regarding that one? That's all I have. Well, there is one other thing. We have Athens Regional Library System, through some agency, has got some money to replace, offers 50% grant on a an air conditioner, I think it's $27,000, something completely new, the air conditioning system up in the library. We've had problems with that thing ever since I've been around here. And it is the outdated Freon now, it's getting more and more expensive to fix. I think there's some ductwork design issues, there was the units themselves, which is one's a 20-ton and the other one's a 5-ton unit. I guess we need to take official action on that if we want to take the grant. $27,000 grant, we got to come up to $13,500 and some odd dollars or whatever it is, and I'll give you the official numbers. But, to me, we're gonna continue to keep throwing money at that thing, and it still ain't gonna operate right, and this should make it more efficient, it should make it more functional, so we can control the climate, not have it freezing in one end, burning up in the other end. So I would recommend we take it. We can add that as an item too, but the money is there, we just have to say yes or no. Family? If not, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.